How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to City Skylines Nerdköping. I certainly hope you're having a fantastic day, night, whenever the hell it is, wherever you happen to be, because I'm excited to be back. This right here is another one of those not recorded on live stream episodes, is what this is. And I have a bit of an idea, is what I have. But before we get to that, there have been a couple of changes, and I want to just show you what they are. So the one that might be most noticeable is that white buildings are no longer glowing in direct sunlight, which I think is fantastic. That's just something I changed in Ultimate Eye Candy right here. So basically I just thought, you know, bring the brightness down a little bit, bring the ambient light down a little bit. It certainly makes everything look a little darker, but I think it makes it look a little more realistic. And to be honest, it's kind of nice not having buildings completely, I mean, they're still pretty bright, and this one is still slightly glowing, but a little bit less than they were before. The other thing that I've changed, the other thing that I've done happens to be in this area as well. You might notice that I've got some detailing back here. We've got a little grill with some benches and some grass with some curbs and lights and trees, and I just wanted to make this area look like it had something going on. I don't want to say that it's completely done. I don't want to say I'm never going to come back and change it, but I just wanted there to be something in here. That's all I wanted from that space. And same with in front of the university as well. We've got some planters, we've got some bollards, and I just went ahead and made it look a little bit more built up rather than just being a big empty space of grass right in front of what would arguably be one of the most busy areas in the entire city. So that's why this has all been done. It was just a little bit of tedious work that I decided to do without recording or without streaming because honestly, I just kind of wanted to. That's pretty much it. And we'll get into more about that in just a minute. The whole reason I'm not streaming this at the minute and the reason I'm doing recorded episodes rather than streamed episodes. But before we get into that, I want to talk about what we're doing today. And what we're doing today is this space over here. And we'll talk about this up here in just a second. I spent maybe 30 minutes just laying out some roads and flattening terrain and putting some keys in. And I took a note from this space over here with the whole tiered city thing that we have going on here. I just thought this would look kind of interesting to have more levels going on. I thought it would be a good way to split, you know, the industry from what I want this space to be, which is actually, hopefully, going to be an area of self-sufficient housing and quite a popular area because I want to put things like the London Eye down in here. And I want to make this into a really nice, modern area. So that's why I've used a sort of cleaner, I say cleaner, it's a concrete key, but it looks a little cleaner than the steel ones that we've been using. And it's a little thinner than the one over here. And it is a little bit lighter than this one as well. Basically, I just fancied a bit of a change in terms of keys, if I'm completely honest. So that's what this area is. And I've just gone ahead and put in the main roads. I just thought, you know, might as well get it done. It's going to be a little bit tedious, just a bit of curving here and there. And just, you know, we've placed a million keys. We've placed a million roads. You don't need to see me do all of this, all right? It's all right. So these are going to be our main roads. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And the ways into and out of this area are pretty straightforward. We got a road over here that links out to this one, which obviously goes out to the highway, but also goes up to the industrial space too. We have a little tunnel, which goes under here, under there, and up to here, which again is going to be a way into whatever I build up here and into the industrial space. And then this road down here, I don't expect to get used too much, and I'm probably going to put an Old Town policy on it. But that is essentially what that road's going to be as well. It's just a way up to the industrial area. And you know, I gotta say, saying the words "put an Old Town policy on a road" gives me an idea for a mod that I think this game needs. I would really like to be able to click on a road and then apply policies to a road. So that way, I guess the way it would work, like an Old Town policy applied to a road would mean that anything not built on that road would fall under the Old Town policy. So the only traffic using the road would be traffic going to or coming from buildings on that road. That would be kind of a cool feature. Anyway, that just came to me. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but I think it would be cool. Anyway, I want to talk about why I've got this all up here. This is all stuff that I want to put in this new area, basically. So I want to put a community school in there, Institute of Creative Arts, a shopping center, a cinema, 2 of these parks and plazas, and the London Eye, as well as other things, but I wanted to just lay these out as sort of reminders of, hey, I want to put these into this space, and I want them very specifically in this space. So we'll figure out exactly where they're going to go at some point. In fact, you know what? Let's go ahead and start placing them in here right away. Let's do one of those parks there, and let's do the other one on the other side of that road. And then what we could do is bring some roads kind of around that. I don't think it would hurt to do it. So we'll bring some roads with a median around this whole thing. And I'm going to do it this way intentionally, where we're kind of having that gap around these. So we'll bring this all around, just like that. And then what I can do with this, and what I like about these parks a lot, is I can go in with this type of path, and I can connect it straight out at all ends to the roads there. Which means we have a way for people to get in and out of that park from all sides. And also, the other thing that I wanted to do this little gap for, as I'm sure you are going to be able to figure out, is parking lots. And yeah, I know parking lots aren't exactly going to fit the self-sufficient housing idea that I might have for this space, but I'm doing parking lots, is what I'm doing. We're doing the parking lots because I think they're going to be kind of nice to fill up all that space. And I can do some bollards, and I can do some trees, and I can make this look all interesting, but those are going to bring more people to the area as well, and that's kind of important to me. And I think that'll be a pretty good... Oh, you know what? Looking at that, the parking lots look terrible. Nope, we're taking them out. Never mind. It was a terrible idea. I knew it from the start. I was just testing myself to see if it was a good idea. That's much better. So we'll have that be the heart of this whole space, I guess. And I guess what we could also do is, I mean, this road here is what, 17, so we can't really go to a midpoint with it. But we could bring it out, and we could connect it to different roads. We could build districts off of these guys. That might not be a terrible idea either. I don't know why I can't speak today, good lord. But we'll see what we're doing with those. As for the London Eye, I kind of want it somewhere specific. I kind of want it, say, here-ish, or here. Now, here I feel would make more sense because it has some land to it already, but it would be on a curve, and I don't know how I feel about that. Whereas over here is a nice straight road that I could put it on, but it would be a little further away from everything, and I feel like it shouldn't be... I don't know if it should be that far away. Although we are going to build on this over here at some point, so it would just be opposite the river with a view of a bridge, but it wouldn't have much of a view of anything else. It would have a view over this neighborhood, and thinking about it, a view potentially to some industry. I don't know, thinking about it. I don't know that I want the London Eye in this area at all, but I'm going to commit to it. And what we're going to do is we'll take out these bits of key, and London Eye can go on that road somewhere. So, let's see here. It could go, I reckon, about there. And I think that's okay. I think we can work with that. So let's go ahead and put these keys back in here. And while I'm working on this, I do want to... I don't know why this isn't snapping properly to grids and whatnot. That's kind of weird. While I'm working on this, I do want to talk a little bit about what I mentioned earlier about why I've not been streaming episodes of this this series, because obviously it did start as a series that was gonna be live streamed, and that was kind of the whole point of it. It was a live stream series rather than just a normal YouTube series. Basically, I've just been feeling a little bit sick. That's genuinely just the simple fact of it. I've just been feeling a little bit ill. Not really been feeling up to streaming this last couple of days, and I've kind of just been... I've been playing different games here and there and just kind of relaxing a little bit. You know, the holidays are coming up and all that, so I figured, you know, it's as good a time as any to just try and chill a little bit, especially if I'm feeling a little bit sick. And no, it's nothing. It's nothing what you think. Yeah, I know what the reaction to that's gonna be. It's like, oh, it's 2020 and you're getting sick. We all know what that is. No, it's just, I don't know. I'm a little. I don't want to list any symptoms, because if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fatigued and I feel a little bit sick and my throat hurts, it's gonna be like, well, we all know what that is. Yeah, I just feel a little under the weather is how we'll put it. I just don't quite feel like myself this last couple of days, this last week or two. So I thought, you know what, streaming can wait for a little bit until I'm actually feeling like doing it. So that's pretty much what I'm doing, is I'm just chilling, playing some games in my own time. I've been playing, I mean, I could say this, you know, the C word. I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk, which I think we all know I've been playing Cyberpunk. But I've been playing a couple of other things as well. I recently started kind of dabbling in the new flight simulator, which I'm actually I really like. So me and flight simulators go back a little bit, kind of in a weird way. Because I remember in the living room of my house, we used to have a computer in the corner, and it was like I think this was the early 2000s, and it was quite an old computer. So it was like, I think it was running Windows 95, maybe. I honestly don't remember. I don't remember what it was running, but whatever it was running, it had a flight simulator installed on it. So I was like, oh, this is cool. So being from Northern Ireland, I was always flying in and out of Belfast, and I was always kind of flying up over roughly where my house would be. And obviously, you know, times have changed a little bit. And if you are aware, the new flight simulator, part of what is so kind of hype about it is that it has recreated the world. And you know, that sounds very dramatic, and that sounds like a bunch, you know, buzzwords, or like I'm trying to sell you on the game. But no, it genuinely, they've used Bing maps and satellite imagery and height maps and all sorts of things to pretty accurately and amazingly recreate the world. So the thing for me is I hadn't flown home, essentially, in the new flight simulator yet. So I booted it up recently. Again, I was, you know, while feeling a little bit sick, I was like, I'm going to boot up flight simulator and I'm going to play this. And I started up a flight from Belfast to Glasgow, because that's a flight that I've done a couple of times. And I've done, you know, Belfast to London before. I've done Belfast to all sorts of places. But I've, you know, Belfast to Glasgow, I think, is one of the more recent ones. And by recent, I mean, you know, before the world shut down. But it's one of the more recent flights that I did. And I took off, and I was flying, you know, out of Belfast, and I realized that I hadn't flown home in this game yet. So I decided, you know what? You know, to hell with this. To hell with this flight. You know I'm supposed to be going to, Glasgow here, but we're going to take a little detour, and I'm going to go where I want to go. And, you know, so I flew home, and it was cool. And I know that's a really underwhelming way of describing it, but it was kind of really cool. And then I went and watched a documentary from a channel called No Clip about the new flight simulator. And apparently what they found most often from players was the first place a lot of people would fly was home. A lot of people will just, you know, get in a plane in the game and fly to where they live, or where they used to live, or something like that. And I just think it's so cool. Just, it's such a weird, surreal feeling to be kind of, you know, playing this game and then looking out the window of your virtual plane, and you see not an exact replica of your house by any means, but you see where it would be. You can see the street that you grew up on. You can see the field that you used to play in when you were a kid. You can see the park that you and your friends would, you know, spend hours in. You can see the forest where you built you know, huts and shacks and all that kind of stuff. And it's an experience, man. That's all. It's so strange seeing that in a video game. It really is. Now, what's also strange is this road layout that I'm going for here, because I feel like this area up here needs to be quite dense. So I'm gonna take these guys out, and we're gonna do something like this. And you might notice I'm leaving gaps everywhere. I'm doing that on purpose. I'm sure you're aware, but you know, just in case you're not, that is completely on purpose so that I can put some paths into all of this space. So just doing little gaps like that, which will let me, you know, put some paths around here and make this place kind of cool. So that's completely intentional. And I don't mind these weird gaps down here. I can put trees and parks and things like that in there. And I think we'll do the same here too. Just some kind of nice green space. Same with these guys, this guy, etc., etc. And I think this is a decent little start to this area. So let's go ahead and bring some things in here. I want the shopping center, and I almost feel like the shopping center could go here, kind of behind that park. I think that's a cool place for it. My only complaint is that design-wise, I feel like this building is designed to be very close to other buildings. You know, like this should be on a corner right there, and then this could be a corner as well. This one's a little bit less designed, but every face of this thing feels like it could be the corner of a busy street. So I don't know that the shopping center actually should go there. I feel like maybe there would be a better spot, or maybe here would be a better spot. Where can I get some good zoning around this? Maybe actually in here would be a decent spot. Or does it fit there? It actually fits there really nicely. So let's do that for the shopping center. So it's got the London Eye right across from it, but I feel like this would be prime real estate for a shopping center anyway. So we'll do that. The little cinema actually could go there too. It could fit right next to it, which is not terrible. I would be slightly tempted to say that I could merge the two of them, maybe. With a little bit of move it, just shuffle you along slightly like that. Does that work? I mean, it certainly, I mean, it works, but does it work, you know? That's the real question. It works, but it doesn't, you know, it's no good if it works, but it doesn't work, you know? That's, you get me. You understand what I mean, right? I don't mind that too much. I think I might just have them be separate buildings though, just for the sake of zoning and spacing. So we could do the cinema there, kind of on that corner, kind of has a little road to itself. We could do some space through here for a parking lot, but I feel like it wouldn't be, I feel like we wouldn't have a parking lot right there with these ones here. I don't think either of those schools are going to fit either. So what would we put in this space? Maybe a plaza? Yeah, you know what? That plaza actually looks okay, so I think that's what we'll do. We'll do a plaza there, and we'll do a path just behind this thing. So we can bring this over to here. We can grab this node as well, just sort of shuffle the entire thing up a little bit, and bring you over slightly, and there we go. We have a little path that just runs behind the cinema, connecting those spaces together. So I think that's pretty solid. We do still have two of these plazas to place, but we'll go ahead and just get the rest of everything else in here. So this Institute of Creative Arts. Now this is a high school, and I want it to go somewhere kind of cool. And I'm feeling like here, and I'm almost feeling like two of them would be an idea. So something like that, so that we have a you know what? Actually, looking at it, those are. No, they're overdoing it a little bit. Can I get it central? No. So it won't go central. Would the elementary school go central? Is it a better size? No, it wouldn't go central either. Damn, okay. So that's going to be tricky to make work, I guess. Elementary school there or up here. Right there kind of works. We'll do the little elementary school right there. The high school, I mean, I know I can use move it to shuffle it, but I really don't want to have to do that for absolutely everything. So the high school can go maybe on that corner, and then I could build around it. I think that would be a good idea. I don't know what I would build around it, but we can sort of use this space back here. So what I can do is I can use a path to sort of outline this and outline the space that I want to use. So basically from there, going straight across, and from there, going like that. And that's basically the space that we can use for that high school back there. And I think that's fine. I think that'll be pretty good. Now, obviously, none of this has power, but we did at least get all the buildings into this space that I wanted. And I don't think it looks too bad. I think we want to detail around these parking lots, of course. But first and foremost, honestly, I want to get pipes in here. And then I want to go ahead and, well, basically get some power as well, but get some buildings. I want to start zoning all of this, and I want to see it actually come together. Because, oh, hold on a minute. I'm probably going to want to make 2 districts out of this. I am probably going to want to make 2 districts out of this. And what I'm going to do as well, since I haven't done this in this entire series yet, I want to go ahead and ask all of you in the comments, post suggestions for district names. Because what I'm thinking we could do is have sort of maybe upper and lower something. Or, I mean, what do we consider north in all of this? That's a good question. I reckon, what would I consider north? Well, where does the sun rise? And where's the sun? The sun's there, and it's going to be setting. So it sets in the west. So if that's west, is that north? So that would be north. Nice. Okay, so that's north, I think. So we would have east and west, whatever. We could do that as well. That could be an option. Either way, I have no idea what to call this space, so I'm going to leave it up to all of you. Whatever you got in mind for a cool district name, just leave it down in the comments, and I'll pick something that I really enjoy, and we'll have that be the name of this place. Is what we'll do. I just feel like we haven't done that in a long time. It was kind of a staple of City Skylines here on the channel for a little while, that we would name districts after what was suggested in the comments, and I, feel like doing that again. Although I will say, I have been naming roads after people that subscribe on Twitch, so if you happen to want a road named after yourself, that is an option. But just be aware that subscribing on Twitch is very different to subscribing on YouTube. Subscribing on Twitch is, it's like supporting on Patreon or something like that. It's a monetary thing. If you want to follow the Twitch channel the way a YouTube channel works, that's just click the follow button over there. But I'm not trying to promote Twitch. I'm just saying we have been naming roads after people. We haven't really been doing anything beyond that. So yeah, just ideas for what this place could be. Now, let's go ahead and lay out these districts. And just like that, things are starting to build. Now, what I've gone ahead and done is I've set Lynch Heights here and Umber Park as self-sufficient housing. So the buildings here are going to have a lot of trees and a lot of wood, and they're going to look very kind of modern, and that is exactly what I want for this area. I want it to look clean and modern and like it's full of nature. What I've also gone ahead and done is set this area up here to be completely commercial, and it is the modern city center theme that is running on this. Look at these buildings. Look at these. These are beautiful. These are absolutely beautiful. Now, the reason I've done the modern city center theme is because we're going to end up with a lot of buildings like this that are right up against each other. It's going to make this area look really dense, and I think it's just going to look cool. It's a little weird to have something that looks sort of like a modern high street, I think, this far out of the city center. But I think it would maybe look a little weirder to have full-on high-rise buildings out here, so I'm going to see what these end up looking like. If it does end up being a little strange that we have this going on, then sure, we'll change it. But for the time being, I'm kind of okay with this. And to be fair, we could probably do with maybe, I don't know, I'd almost be tempted to say that we make some areas in here have the leisure specialization or the tourism specialization, which would be hotel accommodations. And I feel like hotels, honestly, in this space, hotels might make a lot of sense. It might not be a bad idea. What the hell is that? Oh, I've not done the right theme on this, have I? Lynch Heights, Vanilla, or maybe Modern City Center. I guess we could do Modern City Center on that. We'll do Modern City Center there as well. Do I want to do touristy buildings? I guess is the question. Do we want to do hotels out here is the question. I kind of feel like we could. I kind of feel like hotels out here would be kind of interesting and would probably make sense given that it's, you know, the London Eye's here and we've got these parks. Maybe that is what we do. Or maybe this space over here could have a bunch of hotels. So let's zone all of that. Let's set the tourism specialization there. And we'll see what that ends up doing. And we're not going to have, you know, we're going to have a relatively small amount of hotels unless I do decide to go ahead and zone, you know, this bit, which, I mean, we could. We absolutely could. And I guess maybe this bit could be zoned as well, just to get a little bit more density for hotels in here. So something kind of like that. It might look kind of weird, though. In fact, I think, yeah, that does look kind of weird. So maybe just something like this. And then this could be, I don't know what, this could just be more hotels, I suppose. But yeah, we could do something like this. Have a good chunk of hotels in there. Maybe we don't do this bit at all. Maybe we don't do this bit at all. And maybe, actually, this whole bit back here doesn't get done either. Maybe this is just where our hotels go. Just a really nice cluster of them right in the middle, right by the London Eye. Right by a fair amount of commercial. And then we just need to put more tourism stuff in here. I think that's kind of okay. And also buses are going to be kind of a big deal too. And also probably Old Town policies, because I'm just looking at it and traffic is absolutely going to be going through Hamilton Heights to get down here. So let's do policies and Old Town. And we'll see how that goes. Coleridge Park is going to be kind of a similar story, I think. We're going to do Old Town there. That way, traffic isn't going to be overwhelming that tunnel and overwhelming that road. It's going to be using this road out here. And I think that's probably for the best. Now, let's go ahead and do some paths before this entire area builds up too quickly. Alrighty, so it's a little difficult to see, but the paths are all in, and I did decide to go with these sort of more concrete looking ones with some trees on it, just to kind of match the theme of everything that we're doing here. But I did decide to use these rad paths around here just to sort of border the parking lot there. I think that actually looks kind of cool. I kind of like it. I think it's a little bit distinct, and I think some bollards around there at some point will certainly go a long way to making it feel like that's, you know, over here is the way into the parking lot. Now, what I do want to do is I want to come around here and I want to just control click on all of these junctions to make sure that they are set up properly for traffic to sort of go in and out of, with actual dedicated turning lanes and things like that. I want to make sure that traffic is able to just flow as well as it possibly can. So dedicated turning lanes all the way up here as well are going to be an absolute must. Same with these guys. Same with down here as well. And then over here is already sorted. I think most of these roads have already been done, so not too much needing to change just there. And quite a bit of traffic leaving the area there. Now, I think this actually looks kind of cool. I like that from down here, you know, it's difficult to see, it's difficult to get the angle, but from down here you kind of have this view of these buildings here and then more buildings up behind it. That's pretty cool to me. I mean, it's like a tiered city, isn't it? It's like one of the tiered cities that I've built, so that's pretty cool. I would like to do something in that corner to fill that up, and I'm gonna have to figure out what that something would be. Actually, I know exactly what that something would be. Let me take these guys out, and let me do, and I hope this works. I hope I haven't just completely messed up my keys here. But let me do this. So if I turn guidelines on and snap you to there, and snap you to there, and then if I go in and grab these nodes, I should be able to do that. And that's flipped around. And now if I flatten that, that's pretty cool looking, I think. I think that's pretty cool looking. So that's perfect. We can put like a statue on there. Admittedly, the terrain is a little funky with it, but that's easily fixed if I just go into something like this. So just grab you and level that terrain up to here. In theory, moving it should readjust. There we go. So that, I think, looks pretty cool. I do think that looks pretty cool. Ooh, now, hold on a minute. Let me just go ahead and flatten this guy out because I want that zoning back in there. And I want to make sure that I have that zoning back in there. So if I update you, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay. We need to make sure I need this to be as flat as it can possibly be. Because I think that's the only way I'm going to get zoning back in here. Oh, come on. Don't do that to me, cities. Come on. So move that along. Then update you. And then undo that. And we still have the zoning. There we go. So that's better. Okay. That I can deal with. And then I can just flatten this guy out a little bit. We can put like a statue there. We can put a park there. I don't really care what we put up here. I think that's just going to be a cool spot. I think that's a really cool spot. If anything, we could do maybe a metro station up there or something, but we have one just over this way and we have the trains coming in here too. So here's what I think we'll do then. Since we have trains already coming in, would it maybe make sense to first off bulldoze some of these buildings so I can see what I'm doing? But would it maybe make sense to bring some paths through here? So maybe bring a path through like this, and maybe bring a path through like, well, I don't know if we need to do more than one, but we'll do two just because I can. So we'll bring some paths kind of through like that, bring them up to about there, and up to about there. And actually, you know what? I'm going to turn them into these guys, just these normal paths, because then they completely blend in with the station here. And then we could have people getting off the train, getting onto a bus back here, and then going off into this district. So maybe we don't have buses that run from the city center to this space. Maybe this space is one that you can get to via train. Although I think we already have... Do we have buses coming out here? We actually don't have buses coming out here, so that would be in line with what we've done with the area. So let's tear out these buildings and let's see. Does this fit? This does fit in here. It's a little strange, I think. It might be a little bit big for the area. The intercity bus station fits there kind of nicely too. Intercity bus terminal uses coaches. Bus terminal requires a highway connection. So that's, I mean, that fits too, but I mean, can it use normal buses? I just don't know. If we have a look here, I mean, intercity bus hub is enormous. It would be kind of cool in there though, I'm going to be honest. And it actually would work. And I don't absolutely loathe that idea. So you know what? Take you out, take those paths out, take that parking lot out, and take that road out. And let's do a bus/intercity bus terminal right there. So the intercity buses can come in. They can drop people off near the, admittedly near the industrial space, but that's all right. And, you know, then go and do whatever they got to do. I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and put a little path across here. And let's do a path just through to there. And let's do a path just through to about, let's see, I reckon there. And that'll be a way for people to kind of do their thing. And I think I've got some parking lots that are, let's see here, this guy. Yeah, so those will fill up those spaces kind of nicely too, so that's perfect. Let me just move those. I think this will be fine. I think this will be kind of a cool area. I think this will work to get people in here. It does unfortunately get rid of the really cool view that we had though, thinking about it. It does get rid of that cool illusion where you would have those buildings much higher up, but we still have that over here, which is kind of cool, so. Oh my god, I love those buildings. I love that they connect together like that. This one a little bit weirdly, but look at these. And then you have this one, and it's just, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, this is weird, actually, having it there, but I'm going to keep it for the time being because whatever. And let's see what we can do for buses then. So, let's see. So those are the lines. I don't think I got to create lines anywhere else. So, I don't even know where the buses come into this place. I genuinely don't know. I guess we'll find out. So let's do there. And then it would come out and go that way for some reason. That's interesting. All right. Well, we'll have this come out. And we'll have it come down and into... I guess into here would be kind of a good spot. So in where the hotels are. And then maybe down by the London Eye. And then back out this way, maybe. I mean, it could loop over itself. I don't really want it to do that. Maybe it does come out this way. It can stop there. And it can go back to here. So something a bit like that. It's not exactly a great bus line, but it'll do the job. And then in terms of a bus line going in the opposite direction, I mean, is that even something we can really do? Not easily by the looks of it. That's actually really frustrating there. Okay, all right. Well, we can work that out. Let's see. Let's have a bus that comes around here. Let's have it go over this way, I guess. We could have it sort of come down here. We can have it come down to here, and then it can sort of go up and join with this other line. I don't think it needs to have the same stops as the other line. I think it can just come into here, which for some reason it wants to do in a weird way. I'd rather it just did that. And then how does it connect back to itself? It crosses over itself. That's a little frustrating, but that's okay. Maybe it just goes out that way. And I think that would be fine. So I think we can have this bus line go there, and I think we can have it stop just down here somewhere as well. So somewhere like there. And I think that's okay. And in terms of this stop, I mean, I don't like that that stop exists, but I would really rather the bus... Well, I guess doing that's fine. I guess it can go to the roundabout. And I guess this guy can move to... Well, it can stay there. So that'll be our two bus lines for the area. They are going to need to change color, though. So this is going to be City Line 5 and City Line 5. And City Line... Well, that one could be City Line 5, and this one could be City Line 6. And they're both going to be the same red color, BA 1414. I keep saying I need to remember BA 1414. I never remember BA 1414. But that's fine. So those are going to be set up like that. What kind of buses are we then going to use? Is the question. So bus... I feel like the Citaro K is probably our best bet. We could go for the Citaro G, which is a bandy bus, which, given it's a touristy area, might not be a bad idea. So, yeah, maybe we will do that. Although I feel like the K would make so much more sense down here, even the C. But let's do the Citaro G for both of those new lines, just because touristy area might be really busy. So select types, Citaro CK, there it is. So the Citaro G. And then, what line was that? I just messed with. City Line 6. So City Line 5 is select types, Citaro G. And then make sure in this menu as well that we have that set up. So Citaro G right there and Citaro G right there. So hopefully those will both actually work. I think that's them right there. Yes, it is. Decent looking buses, so I guess we'll see if people end up actually wanting to use them. I'm definitely, yeah, we got a couple of people there. We got no one on that side. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine by me. We've got this area built up kind of nicely. We actually do have residential demand right now, so we could go ahead and expand the residential zoning that we have to include these spaces along here, which I don't think is a terrible idea. I think we could do the same on this side too. And I think we can do the same just in that entire space right there. So that'll be fine. Bit of residential growth. We could do a bit... No, we can't do a bit in there. That's for the high school. I need to detail that at some point. Then this is all of our hotels going up. And I like this area. I like how this area is coming along. I think it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of interesting. I also like that it's not all just on one grid. And it has some weirdness going on with the roads. The real question, though, is how does it look from over here? And why I hate these buildings so much. So yeah, how does it look from over here? That's the real question. I mean, it's blurry. The depth of field certainly doesn't help with that. So depth of field, turn it off. How does it look? I mean, it looks kind of the way I wanted it to, which is just a bunch of high rises, really. It's not a very distinct skyline over there. And I think that's kind of going to be the way that area is going to be. It's not going to be super distinct in terms of skyline. It's just going to be dense. But that is something I've heard a few people mention with regards to the city over there, is that the skyline needs to be more distinct. That is something I absolutely want to do. So between the transport tower here and the Gherkin over there, I want to put in a couple more unique skyscrapers. I kind of want to do a few in here. I'm almost tempted, to be totally honest, I'm almost tempted to take out this IT cluster here, have the buildings be smaller, and then put some unique skyscrapers in there as well, just to really make it pop. So we'll see. That might be something we do. Now let me turn on my depth of field again, because I kind of happen to really like it. So yeah, this area is coming together kind of nicely. I want to have a look at, so high school and elementary still pretty bad. University's actually gotten pretty bad too. High school's all right. We do absolutely need more elementary schools though, so that's something we're going to need to look into. But for the time being, I think this is a decent little start for this area. I do want to finish it up, and I do want to, you know, fill in all of the gaps, but it's kind of turned out exactly the way I wanted it to, and I can't stress enough how much I love these buildings here, and also the little parking lots between all of them. I think that looks fantastic too. I'm so happy with these, but actually, you know what? Getting rid of those parking lots would probably make this look even better. Even though people kind of like their parking lots, just clearing them out and doing this and then bulldozing all the way down here is probably going to serve to make that area look better. It's going to make the buildings look a little bit more dense, which I am totally on board for. Now, in terms of traffic, we do have a fair amount moving down here, but it is moving, and that's, I think, the important thing. So I'm not going to stress too much about, you know, tailbacks at traffic lights. I don't think that's the end of the world. And being totally honest, we could probably turn off some of the traffic lights. We could turn off these ones, I reckon, and set that as a giveaway sign, and set that as a giveaway sign. And I reckon that'll let traffic flow. In here, for example, we could probably do the same thing. I don't think there's that much traffic going around those spaces. And then up here, I mean, that doesn't even have... Half of these don't even have traffic lights, but that one can be a giveaway. This one can be a giveaway, for example. And this one as well. And that one too. So yeah, that should... I mean, traffic should be able to get around no problem in all of these spaces. I'm not really too worried about it. And if it becomes a problem, I mean, we'll deal with it. But for the time being, I mean, public transport is working. You know, people are using the buses. This space up here is relatively popular, which is lovely. And you know what? I think it would actually make sense to run a bus from here back to the city. Even though we have the trains, I feel like a bus would just make sense. You know? I really do. I feel like both options is probably for the best. So, let's see. That goes... Why the hell does it do that? Why wouldn't it just turn up there? That's weird. That's a weird bus line. I don't quite understand why it would do that. And why it wouldn't just a U-turn coming out, or like turn over this way coming out. That's really, really strange that it would go down there and the whole way around to get back to the city, but whatever. Color is BA1414. And then the type on this is going to have to be what exactly? That's the real question. Let's see. We could do another Volvo double-decker. I reckon maybe just Citaro L for that one. Just be a little bit different on this new line. So that's going to be, what have we got? So number 20 line is City line 7. And we're going to set that to the Citaro, wherever the hell it is. Which one is it? This one's Citaro L Concept. So that's fine. We'll go in here and make it selected as well. So that one. And I guess we'll see how that goes. So we should have the new buses coming out of here. We absolutely do. So they can go do their thing, and hopefully people are going to get around here. And looking at it, it looks like most of the people actually coming to this this place here and going away from it are actually going to the train station. So that new bus line might be completely unnecessary. Oh, that's cool. That's actually really cool. I really like that. It makes me really, really happy that people are actually using those trains to get here. And thinking about it as well, they might not use the trains to get from the city anymore, but they can certainly use the trains to get from here to this this interchange. So that's, oh man, that's made me really happy. I've got to be honest, I'm really that's genuinely made me really happy. Okay, I'm pleased with this. I'm actually really pleased with this. That was something I completely forgot. I didn't consider at all they'd be coming in from the other direction. And I didn't think this many people would be getting off those trains and coming in here, but yeah, they absolutely are. That's pretty good. That's what we wanted. We wanted people moving around. We wanted the buses to be filling up, which they absolutely are. Oh man, I'm really, really pleased at that. And also this entire space pretty much has now filled up. So we've got a good amount of people moving around. We've got a good amount of traffic coming in there too. A hell of a lot of traffic coming in there from over here by the looks of it. Good Lord. Now, part of the problem here is what these guys are doing. So let's just fix that ever so slightly. You can go to the middle lane. You can go to the middle lane, and you can go to there. And maybe they stay in lane for just a little bit. Is what they can do there. Might just help traffic a little there, but that's a hell of a lot of traffic coming through there trying to get across that bridge. Good Lord. Okay. You know what we might need? What we might need is another bus, and I wasn't really planning on doing this, but we're gonna do it. Let's do a bus that goes from here, and it's gonna go to this other depot. Is what it's going to do. So it's going to come into there, and then it's going to come back out and go all the way down here. Now I don't know how well that's gonna, oh boy, I don't know how well that works at all. Why would it loop around like that? That's very strange. I don't quite understand why it would loop around like that. So we're going to move it to there. And that means I need to go and grab the color from Town Line 1, which is B42-156. I'm never going to remember that, so that's fine. So B42-156 gives us the same pink. It's going to be using the Volvo double-decker. And we can go ahead and set it to that in here as well. So Volvo double-decker bus. And what do we call this? So town to city line, town to city tourism, I guess is what we'll call that line. And we'll see how that goes. So that's going to give us more capacity for people to get a bus from this town over to the tourism, which I think is probably for the best. I think it might help to get rid of some of this traffic here, which is slowly filtering out, but certainly not really filtering out as much as we want it to be filtering out. But, you know, filtering is filtering, I guess. and it's getting there. It might have just been the massive influx of new people coming in here that was causing that, but I'm gonna doubt it. I am definitely gonna doubt that, and I'm definitely gonna think that's that might become the new norm, because looking at it, there is just a lot of traffic here. And also, looking at it, we probably want to say that you guys can enter those junctions. I really don't have any issue with that, and also no crossing on that. But there we go. That'll let them enter the junctions, and I'll tell you what I am going to do. I don't know if I've recorded me doing any of this, but this right here is my new favorite mod because it lets me do line markings. Look at how good this is. Look at how good this is. I can do chevrons. I can rotate it until it's right. I can do it by edge. Look at that. That's brilliant. I don't know what way the chevrons should necessarily be going. I'm going to say that way because I can. But I can just do these lines here, and I can just make this look that little bit better. In terms of the lines and whatnot, in terms of all these points, I think I can move them. I can move them a little bit. I can't move them too much, but I can certainly move them in a little bit. I can move these guys kind of in a little bit like that. I can move this guy in a little bit like that, so it just lines up a little better. Such a cool mod. And what I can even do is this to keep the lane markings going, right? So I could just space those out to say 2.5. You know, these guys over here, space them out to 2.5. And then you zoom out a little bit and it just looks like one section of road. You know, obviously there is a gap here, but it looks like it's just one continuous section of road. And I think that's really cool. I really, really do. Oh boy, traffic is, traffic is really suffering here. Okay, well this is something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. This is absolutely something we're going to have to keep an eye on because, I get the feeling that, a couple of double-decker buses isn't going to solve this problem. And if anything, I feel like we might also have too many of these buses on that line. I'm not too sure how many there are. But I guess we'll find out one way or other. And, I mean, you know what? Let me look at this line. Line details. I feel like it's, first off, 14 vehicles is way too much. Let's, turn off budget control. Let me bring that down to 5. Because none of those buses were even full. So 5 vehicles on that line. Seems like it will be much, much better than the 14 that we had. And then at that point, I'm kind of just waiting for the pink double-deckers to come over here. Of which we have 2. Are they full? That one's full and that one's half full. So they are... Yeah, they are going to be quite busy. And looking at it, yeah, they're definitely going to be quite busy. This whole area in general is quite busy. If anything, quite busy might be underselling how busy it really is. But that's fine. That's fine by me. You are full as well, so that's good. That means that line is at least going to take some traffic away from the highway there. Although you wouldn't know to look at it. So I think what we'll do is we'll wait to see how traffic ends up filtering out. If this ends up becoming just a constant problem here with traffic backing up at this roundabout, then I might need to do some work with lane management. And actually looking at it, that is something we could probably do right away in saying that you can go to there, you can go to there, you can go to there. We're not going to allow them to merge there, but what we're also not going to allow is that right there. You can see traffic from the insidemost lane going out to there. I don't want that. So what I will do is say that traffic from here can do this kind of thing. So this way we should end up in a situation, and we are going to end up in a situation immediately where traffic is going to just loop around the entire roundabout for a little bit. But what you'll notice is that traffic that wants to go this way is no longer going to get held up by traffic that wants to go straight across, because traffic going straight across is going to use a different lane to go straight across. And that should, yeah, I mean, we can see immediately it's cleared the entire thing out. Now, it has pushed a lot more traffic onto that bridge, but for the most part, it's cleared this roundabout, which is exactly what I wanted. So that's kind of perfect. And we're kind of seeing something similar here as well. So let's change this up a little bit where these guys, you know, you can go there and there. You can go to any of those lanes, and that should stop traffic from doing weird things. And I think we could maybe do the same here. I don't really want to completely micromanage every roundabout, but those little changes should at the very least mean that any traffic that wants to go straight to the right here, straight around, uses a different lane. So it's not going to be held up by traffic that wants to go straight across the roundabout anymore, in theory. That's a very big in theory, but it's certainly an in theory. And these guys are sort of giving way to traffic coming around there as well. The whole thing is going to be a little messy, but, you know, at least this isn't backed up near the town anymore, and this all is backed up over the bridge, so that's fine. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I reckon we're gonna leave it there for today. I'm kind of happy with how this space has started. It's obviously got a fair bit left to do, but I'm keen to turn it into more of a touristy area. So I want to have these. I do want to have these hotels in here, but I also want to put things like parks and plazas and all that kind of stuff that tourists are going to want to go to in here as well, which might be a little silly next to all this this housing. So maybe this housing is actually going to get replaced with something else. I'm not too sure. I just wanted to get my population up a little bit, but I think it might actually be a little bit silly to have this housing over here, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. Either way, that's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, do feel free to like the video. And once again, if you have any suggestions for districts, do let me know in the comments below. We have these two spaces down here, and we have another Hamilton Heights up here, which, of course, is, I think that's the third time we've had that. But that's fine. We can have upper and then east and west for these two lower things. So the one district name for the three will have upper, east, and west. And I think that'll be pretty cool. Also, I put a little Paradox Plaza into that corner, and I think that's a fantastic spot for it. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. It's been my absolute pleasure as always, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.